Hi guys, welcome to another video. My name is Baratuwa and welcome to my YouTube channel. Please note, all opinions shared on this channel is not financial advice. If you are seeking financial advice, do speak to someone who's certified and registered with the FSCA. So today I'm going to be talking about endowments and education policies. What is the truth about endowments and the similarity they have between an endowment and an education policy? Okay, let's get into it. An endowment, it's an investment. I wouldn't say it's an investment. It's an insurance that is low risk and designed to pay out a lump sum after a certain period of time. Okay, and an endowment is the only insurance, together with the education policy, that combines insurance with investment. So you need to be aware of such policies, because the investment holder won't tell you that, no, this is an endowment and this is how it works, or this is an education policy and these are the fine prints of an education policy. So an endowment, what you do is you buy an insurance with part of your premium, and then the rest is paid towards your saving goal. All right, let's say you want to pay a premium of 350 Rand a month. And then with an endowment, about a quarter of it goes to insurance, and then the rest goes to your life saving, to your life goal or whatever goal you have. And they are reasoning behind combining these two is so that if the policy holder was to pass on, then the beneficiary gets money from the insurance, still gets the lump sum, because this lump sum was insured. And then it also works out when the policy finally matures, you still get your money. Okay, so what are the disadvantages of an endowment? The premiums are generally very high because you are going to buy an insurance, and then they don't offer renewability or compatibility, and you don't really make a lot of money from these, because sometimes they don't beat inflation. And you know how I feel about investments, child, that don't beat inflation. Okay, and the truth is, these sounds very good on paper and when they are explained to you, but once you get into it, once you look at it, it's not so good and you don't really make any money from them. Okay, so what is my experience with an endowment policy, or should I say an education policy, because they are the same. It's just that the other one is specifically for education and the other one is designed for something else. For example, I can take an endowment to say I'm saving up to buy a certain things in a number of years, and then a policy holder or an investment or an insurance company will then offer these to me. So here is my experience with an education policy. Guys, if you get a chance, do not take these. Do not take these, because you do not really make any money out of it. Most of your money goes to the insurance, to the buying of the insurance. So in 2019, when Zuri was born, remember, dealing with money or any financial habits, you mostly learn through seeing. So nobody told me that, you know what, Zuri is born, go open an investment for her, get this for her. I was not told that, but I knew that's what I needed to do because my mom did it for us. Okay, so this is 2019 July. Zuri is 3 months old. I go to a certain insurance company and I'm like, hey, look here, I'm looking for an Eduplan. That's what they call it. I'm looking for an educational policy, an Eduplan. Okay, the gentleman asked me, okay, ma'am, how much do you want to get out of this policy? I tell him 200,000. He says, okay, so 200,000 for a child that is currently 3 months, and you want the policy date to mature, the policy maturity date to be when she's 18. I'm like, that's correct. And not the beginning of when she's 18. Zuri is born in April. So December, November, so that I can be able to pay for fees when she's 19 and going into varsity. Okay, he says, all right. He pulls up his insurance calculator. He calculates. He's like, okay, with that money that you want, you need to put away 300 rand. Okay, sure, no smoke, cool. I'm not clued up about these things. Hence, guys, I say financial education is very important. All right, sure, cool. He pulls up and he says, here's the contract. He prints everything. I am happy. I leave the building, I go. I pay 2019, the rest of the year. 2020, the premium increases from 300 to 332 rand. Mind you, the premium increases according to inflation, but sometimes according to inflation, your investment won't be the same. All right, and I said sometimes it doesn't beat inflation also. So mind you, the premium is increasing. Then 2021, hey, I come across a post on Instagram about endowments. I'm like, hey, what are these? And I read into them, and then they are compared to education policies, and I see that it's one and the same thing. It's just two different names. It's just an endowment and a policy fund and an educational policy. I'm like, yeah, these things are the same. Then I go back home, I pull up my child's contract and I start reading. In fine print, it's written there, premium 330 rand, 300 rand, the starting year, policy holder, and it says amount payable on maturity. 49,800. Guys, how much am I paying? How much am I currently paying for this thing to give me this amount? And it's not even the amount that I wanted. So, number one, the money is not gonna be enough to take my child to college. I have been paying this money for 18 years. I'll just say 18 years because Zuri was 3 months. I'll be paying this money for 3 years, and if the premium might even increase to over 1,000 rand, and I am gonna get 49,800 rand. When you get a chance, do not invest in Eduplans, guys. They are expensive and they do not have a good return at all, because and their excuse is, no ma'am, they are low risk. So what this is what we can give you. So I surrendered the policy, took out my money, and I opened an investment account for Zuri with Ellen Gray, and it will give me the money that I want, yabo, and even more, because it's an investment and I invested in unit trusts. All right. And then here is my mom's story. My mom took out an Eduplan policy for me and my brother, and myself, when I was 2 years, because she says it was in 1997. I'm born in 1995. In 1997, she took this policy out and she was paying 100 and something then for it. Fine. And then over the years, eventually it grew. By the time I matriculated, she was paying 800 and something back on this policy. Ask me how much she got on maturity date. She got 11,000 rand. Okay, and her excuse was, no, but after 5 years, I withdrew some of the money, and then after another 5 years, I withdrew. So I'm going to calculate the money that she withdrew the first time. She withdrew, I think, 5,000 rand. Then she withdrew 3,000 rand. So let's say roughly the policy paid her out 19,000 rand. Roughly, because they allow you to take loans within the policy. After 5 years, you can withdraw some money. There's money that you have access to that you can withdraw. And they often say that it doesn't affect your return, but in her case, it did. All right. So what I would like to say is, if you are looking for those kind of investments, or rather insurances, get a life cover separately. That is so that if anything happens to you, your child is still taken care of. And then get an investment on the side. That money she is definitely going to get when something happens to you. Your beneficiary is going to get the money that you have invested should anything happen to you. So it's not like you're gonna lose that money now you must tie it to an endowment or an education policy because you are afraid that at the end of that time you're gonna lose it. No, you will not lose that money. Yes, if you invest in something very risky, do be aware that it might not be what you invested. It might be more or it might be less, but it's all according to your risk appetite. But don't ever make the mistake of putting together an insurance and an investment together, because the investment is not going to make you money, because most of the money will go towards your insurance. And most people say that they are using endowments because endowments are tax-free. Okay, they are only tax-free if your tax bracket is over 30%. I'm trying to think of the term that it's actually called. That if that is 30%, then you get sorry, I'm gonna tell you now. Your tax bracket, yes, if your tax bracket is over 30%, and then it becomes tax-free because the investor absorbs the tax on your behalf. But if you are below the tax bracket of 30%, then you have to pay tax on it. So I hope this was helpful to you. I hope that you're gonna go sort out your investments, check out your endowments, and that this was really helpful. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Please subscribe to my channel. See you on the next video.